Okay, this project that we're going to be doing is a line, color, and perspective project. This is one of the workups that I've done, and we're going to be using, you can actually have a choice of 3 different mediums. You could use color markers, you could use crayons, or you could use an assortment of color pencils. And we're going to stick today with warm and cool colors. So we're first going to start with a border on our drawing. And what I've done is I've made a dot in each corner of my paper. It's a piece of white paper, and I'm going to connect the dots by using my ruler. And you can, if you feel most comfortable doing it in pencil first, that's an option, and then tracing it with a black marker afterward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just to this outside of the dots. I'm going to make sure my ruler is straight, and then I'm going to draw a line and connect the dots. And I'm running my marker right alongside of the ruler. So I'm going to do the same thing on the lower part of my paper. Hold your ruler flat with your one hand, and with the other and your marker you can run a line along the ruler. Excuse me. I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure you're able to see where the dots are as you connect them, and then hold it again firmly and run your ruler across. Now if your dot isn't lined up, you could always just erase that and clean it up a little bit. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on the last side of what I'm creating is a border. So now that I've got my lines drawn out, I'm going to build up a landscape and a series of different curved lines. And I'm going to go from one side to the other. I'm just going to make a soft curve going from one side, and the lines are connecting. Then I'm going to go to the center of the line that I've just drawn and then make a curve going up over to the left side. And on the next section, I'm going to draw a line going across. So I'll just space it a little further up and draw my line. It can be a soft, wavy line as you go across. And make sure that the lines touch the border lines that we've already drawn out. And then I'm going to go to the center again, add another curve going up, connecting to the left side, and one more going over to the right side. So as you can see, they're already drawn out, and you can trace them with your marker, and then you can cap your marker, and then we'll get started. Now, what I wanted to talk about with regards to the warm and cool colors, we're going to draw the ground in cool colors. The cool colors on the blue, green, and violet side of the color wheel, they tend to recede, meaning go back into the composition. We're going to start this section with our cool colors, and you may, if you're using color pencils, make sure you've got them sharpened before you get started. So I'm going to organize them. Alright, so I'm going to start at the bottom with a green pencil, and I'm going to go from one side to the other, and I'm going to take my lines and draw them across. And as I'm drawing them across, I want to have them spaced evenly apart. Make sure that they're touching both top and bottom line. And the thing about using pencils is if you add a tiny bit of pressure, your pencil line is a bit darker. So I'm adding slight pressure to my pencil, not so much that it hurts your hand, because you can always, you know, go back over the lines if it doesn't show up. Now I'm staying with the same color, but I'll have some variety as I go. And I'm taking it, going all the way across. Okay. Now, the next color I will use will be a violet or purple. And I'm going to go to the next section on the left. I'm going to draw my lines. Now, the lines that are going up and down are vertical. The next section we will be doing horizontal lines, which means lines going across. Okay, very good. And then I'm going to make the next section, I'm going to be drawing horizontal lines. You can either start at the bottom of the section or the top, doesn't matter, just filling this section out. Now, it's always a good thing to have something underneath your artwork. If you're using markers, markers tend to bleed, go through the paper, and you don't want to get any marks on your table or desk, whatever area you're working in. Or working at. And as you can see, I'm keeping my lines rather close together, trying to have them evenly, and I'm staying within this frame. Okay, that one's finished. Now I'm going to choose a different green for this section. This is slightly darker, so I'm going to go with a bit of a lighter green. It's nice if you can have a few variety of colors. It's always so much fun. Okay, and the last section I will find like a different purple that I've used. Slightly darker than the one below. Finish this section. And then the last section that I'll be doing is I'll be working with warm colors. And the warm colors on the red, orange, and yellow side of the color wheel, they tend to come forward in a composition, meaning they pop out. So I'm going to be drawing just a small circle to start off with my marker. Okay, and then I will start using an assortment of warm colors that I have. And I will be coloring in this section my sun with bright yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make concentric circles, meaning circle within a circle within a circle, surrounding my sun. And I will be using an assortment of different yellows, oranges, reds, and I'll even throw in some pink to make it look really interesting. And these two yellows are pretty similar actually. So then I'm going to start working in some oranges. And if you don't have a variety of colors, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to switch to another orange, more like a peachy color. And again, you want to keep all your lines within your frame that you've originally drawn. Well, this one's pretty light. So you want to practice using the color on a separate piece of paper to test the color out, see if it's a color that you like. Just continue building my warm colors out. And I'm keeping my lines close together as I'm drawing them. And I have some other pencils. I have some neon pencils that are really bright. I might have to just kind of go over it so it'll stand out. I'm just going right over some of the lines because it shows up pretty light on my paper, but it's a really pretty color. Okay, and then I'm going to actually go into some kind of magenta. More on the purpley side, but I want to kind of have some interest in my sun. And as you can see, when you start to run out of space, you just build that color out and fill it up until you get to the very end. Okay, I'm done on that side. And I want to add some more color there. got some kind of a nice lighter pink. Now pink is simply just red with a white color combined. So it's called a tint. And let's see, we have one more. And I'm going to just finish this last color out to the very end of my frame, and keeping the curves and continuing them. In any empty space, I'll just add part of a curved line and then finish off the corner. Now for the last part, I'm going to add some silhouettes, and I'm going to add some trees on the ground, and the trees that are closer to us will be larger, and the trees that go into the background farther away are smaller. So we can actually start with the trees that are smaller into the distance, and you're just going to draw a curve, and I'm using my black Sharpie marker. You can use another black marker. I like using my Sharpies. And then at the end, I'm just going to kind of come back and then just extend these angle lines, and then I'm going to color it inside that outline or contour line with my marker. And then I'm going to add some branches. And you can add as many branches as you want. And as you can see in the tree, that it's thicker at the base and then thins out closer to the top. Okay. Make sure you don't miss any areas. And my trees are all on the top of these lines that I have drawn out. My next tree, maybe I'll make it slightly larger. And then you kind of curve out towards the bottom of your tree. Now you can add as many trees as you'd like to your drawing. And add your, actually this tree looks slightly bigger than the first one. And add some of your smaller branches on your tree, and you can add more if you'd like. Okay, now I'm going to drop down to this first curved line that I drew, and then draw a larger tree. As you can see, I start at the bottom, I work my way upward, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then I want to have some different heights to my branches. And you can add some bends to your tree, however you'd like to draw it out. I'm going to kind of fix this by bringing it over a little bit more, and that'll work because I'm going to color inside the tree. And I'm going to color it in and then add excuse me, my branches. And filling it in, we're drawing and coloring the tree in as we're making a silhouette. adding some smaller branches to my top part of my tree. And there you go. Another thing you could add to your drawing is kind of the shape of a pumpkin, because now we're entering the fall season, and you can add a small kind of rounded apple shape, almost like a rounded heart shape, and color that in. And then add a small top to it. There you go. All right, so we're done with our line drawing, and I will see you again next week. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.